Welcome back to another episode of Vendel's Weekly Quest Tutorials. So up this week we have the quest called Dura Lex, and it entirely features Lawbringers. Lawbringers are kind of fun to fight against, and this is one of the few quests where I personally think assassins have the spotlight. As usual, I'm still going to show off using my aramusha, but as far as character choice is concerned, any character that's got a decent dodge attack is probably going to do fairly well here. And that's because some of the Lawbringers moves, such as the long arm or the shove, if you're ready for them, you can exploit and counterattack very easily with dodge attacks. So, as you get into it, choose whatever character you want. I really think this one's very doable with any character because the Lawbringer is not in the super strongest state right now, but really, if they've got a dodge attack, that's going to work out well for you. So the first quest up we have this week is Delicto. So another thing to note before we get into this quest, I'm going to be doing something a little different this time. I'm only going to be showing successes because this quest really isn't that difficult for me to spend a ton of time talking about. However, this very first phase is honestly one of the hardest phases for me. And that's specifically just because of the buffs that our opponents give it. So let's talk about our buffs for a second though first. We have Revenge Up, which sounds nice, but in a 1v1 really doesn't help you all that much, especially with how you're going to have to be harassing this fellow. And when I say harass, I mean that quite literally. So his buffs are a combination of increased hit point pool and a regenerating shield. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, but it seems to me that a regenerating shield is based on the percentage of hit points an opponent has. So the Lawbringer with an already big health pool plus bonus health is going to get a lot of shield every time it pops up. So you gotta stay on top of him. You gotta keep hassling him, because if you don't, he's gonna just keep getting that shield back. Anytime I failed on this quest, it was because I was trying to pace myself too much, and I just wasn't doing enough damage to him. I was trying to build revenge, turtle up, and that just doesn't work for this guy. You've gotta open things up. And like I said during the character selection part, any character with a dodge attack is going to do well here, and the reason for it is there's just a lot that you can easily dodge and then counterattack from the Lawbringer. Expect him to get revenge too, because of all the health you have. I mean, all the health he has. He's got a large pool to get through, so even if you're getting almost all your hits through, he's going to build up that revenge meter. Just stick with it, and you will get the clear on this one. It's not that bad, but if you're not prepared to deal well with his shield, it can take you a while. The second phase is Fiat Justitia. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing any of these right. Anyways, this phase features, you guessed it, more Lawbringers, because I already said this. It's all Lawbringers. These Lawbringers are fairly easy to deal with if you use an exploit. Even if you don't use the exploit, there's an advantage they give you that makes it not so bad. You gain hit points on attack, so that's nice. Even if they block your attacks, you're going to be able to heal up a little bit. And they give you this massive boost right at the beginning that gives you an overshield and an attack buff while you're dealing with the first one. And then there's the catapults. Some of you will remember this map from a really awful weekly phase we had that involved two Tiandis who could both respawn. I don't know. Anyways, the two Tiandi, because they respawn, you couldn't abuse the catapult quite as well as here because you had to make sure you got the executes off on them. But with these guys, there's nothing to keep them from coming back up. I mean, nothing to keep them... You get what I'm saying. Once they're down, they stay down. No issue there. So abuse the heck out of the catapult. Use the fact that it screws with their AI, parry a few attacks, and just finish it out. Because of your health gain, this one really shouldn't give you too much problems. If you are having any problems with them, I really recommend just using the catapult. If not, try to use your revenge well against them and you'll do fine. Phase 3 is Mandamus. Mandamus? Again. Okay, so phase 3 is two more Lawbringers. One of them has an interesting, awful combination of unblockable and knockdown. You want to take him out first. The other one has revenge and max hit points, so you don't want to be dealing with him on the side if you can avoid it. You, in turn, have hit point bonus on kills, which is one of my favorite things whenever there's minions around, and all of your attacks drain stamina. Now, there's a few interesting things to note. This guy on the left, first of all, is the one that has the unblockable attack, so I recommend going left at the beginning and dealing with him. Now, because your attacks drain stamina, he's going to be constantly out of stamina as long as you're just throwing anything at him. So, you know, I screw up a lot during this fight, but you'll notice due to some weird AI hiccups and other things that I still make it through. This fight's pretty hard to screw up, because if you're really getting wrecked, you can always just run off. You're faster than the Lawbringers and heal up. Now, an interesting thing, guard breaks actually count as an attack, and what I mean by that is they proc your stamina drain. So whether he counters the guard break or not, you can continue to harass him using guard breaks because it's going to drain his stamina and he's going to stay in out of stamina the entire time. Once they both engage you, which they will if you take too long to beat the first one, the unblockable one, you need to focus still on the unblockable one, because if he gets hits off, he's going to be the one that really messes you up. At some point you'll get revenge, make use of that, but again, you shouldn't actually really need it. Once the unblockable guy's done, just handle this guy. He's got a bigger health pool, but you're going to be able to reduce his stamina just as well. You have a lot going for you here. Yeah. Keep harassing him. When you do start to take some damage, run off and beat up the minions. You'll only see me doing that once in this, because honestly I barely even needed to. But exploit that stamina, feint into your guard break so that you can get him opener, bait out his revenge with feints when he has it, if you know he's got it and it's not mid-tier combo, and just make your way through it. Even if he gets a variety of different combo attacks on you, he starts harassing you or starts getting things through, as long as you disengage, you're going to be fine. A single wide sweep here, and you will be back to full health. I mean, yeah, it's just not bad. And because you heal so well, guess what? That means more revenge for you. So you can have an extra revenge for your glory victory phase. The final phase, Sed Lex, is my favorite of this weekly quest. It's just ridiculous. And you'll see why. First off, you've got some perks that give you huge advantage. You've got Health Steal and Revenge up. This makes you a boss. You can handle them whether there was anything else going on or not. One of them has Infinite Revenge, one blocks drains stamina, and one knocks down. The knocks down one is really the only one you have to be afraid of. The Infinite Revenge guy, he can be scary if he gets parries because he can knock you down, but honestly it's not that bad because of how Infinite Revenge reacts with AIs, and honestly Infinite Revenge isn't that great. It's basically uninterruptible with a single use shield that then disables your revenge because, well, you can't get it again, so he's never going to be able to open up with another randomized super shield that auto parries you. This map is great because of the ridiculous amounts of cannonballs just flying everywhere. There's a pattern to them. If you learn the pattern, you can exploit it a little better, but it's really not that important. Because of your health steal, you can just go mad in this fight. Honestly, like, this entire fight, I was just kind of spamming R2 and spinning around, occasionally having fun with feinting. I didn't care if I was going to get parried or whatever, because if I got a few hits off, I would get back. Even if I did get parried, there's a decent chance that there's a catapult that's going to come in and save my butt, and it just works out well. I love this phase. I replayed the quest a couple times just to get to this phase and goof off with it, just because of the weird things you can do with it. Even lost a few times intentionally so I could start it over. But really, if you don't want to exploit the cannonballs, you can go up to that far north area and fight them there. And, you know, it's doable because of the perks you have and the lack of super special perks this set has. But honestly, abusing the cannonballs is my favorite thing ever. And I recommend you do it because it's a lot of fun. It's goofy. Such so that going back to the game without cannonballs afterwards almost seems a little too calm. So that's the weekly quest. Dura Lex is pretty easy. It's really not that bad compared to a lot of the other ones we've experienced. That being said though, still, always remember, modifiers modify your playstyle, and you do still have to keep to that. Each phase has some specific modifiers that you need to look out, and specific targets because of the modifiers that they have. But once you get into it, it's just Lawbringers. If you know how to handle Lawbringers, you're going to perform just fine. Heads up, next week my video will not be one of the usual ones because I'm going to be going out of town, but I'll resume after Christmas. And as a final note, I wish you all a good week, good luck on your quest, and enjoy Dura Lex. Vendel out.